We're at the Capitol Audiofest. It's 2019. My name is Peter Bruninger with AV Showrooms.
My name is Kemper Holt from AV Showrooms.
And I'm Terry Oringi with AV Showrooms.
Well, this has been a fantastic show this year. Last year's show had at least 30 less rooms. They sold 82 rooms this year. Is that awesome?
It's huge.
It's huge.
The scale has grown to the point where the management's wondering, how can we deal with it? And they dealt with it great.
Yeah, the hotel dealt with it great, and it's a great atrium-based hotel. So when you go up and down in the main part of the hotel, you get to look down on the floor. And the floor was full this year with vendors selling records.
Records everywhere. At least 30 people every moment were piling through records.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, just something else. The room sounded wonderful this year. We're going to have a real hard time picking Gold Show Awards. We have to think about that over the next several days. But I have a short list, and some of the highlights will be covered today. So what we like to do is call out great rooms. It's always ladies first.
Well, thank you, Peter. One of my favorite rooms was the Robiot room. The quad rebuilds are the most delicate, detailed, and immersive speakers I think I heard at this show this year. He had a VPI turntable without a plinth.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the amplification? Do you remember?
Butler, based out of Texas. Awesome amplifiers. They had perfect handshake to the quads. We played the AMBA song, Conversations.
The track was
Fly Away, and I had tears.
It was so emotionally involving.
It was very emotionally involving, and I've heard other audio writers will talk about, I went into this room and I got tears, and I went in that room I had tears. This is the first time I think of all these audio shows. I'm standing there behind the camera, and my goosebumps are flying off my arms, and I felt my face tearing up. It was that involving. This was I think the first time I really got it. So that was unbelievable. So exceptional room. So shout out to Robiot, and check out those quads.
Kent
Awesome.
Kent McCollum rebuilds the
Kent,
57.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Electrostatic Solutions is the name of the company. Kemper, how about a room?
I'm going to go with Klaus's room. Hey, we're right in the room. So, regardless of cost, top shelf room, one of the best in the show. Add in the cost, insanely good value. You just have a hard time coming close to what Klaus can do. 2 liquids, 2 mono amps, and a Candela preamp, and you're still at 10K. There's power chords for 10K in the show. So
yeah, I know. We played Dead Can Dance, Spirit Chaser. We played this Song of the Stars, and I sat right where the camera is sitting now, because that's where we are. We're in Klaus's room now. And this room, I never heard it like that. This room totally pressurized. I heard the staging here and here and there, and I was smoked. It smoked me. It was off the hook. It's probably one of the best exhibits I think I've ever heard in my life. It was that good. So that's what this does. Klaus is really good at setting up a room.
Excellent.
It's very simple. He goes for the soundstage first, and then he dials everything in around it. He's an expert setup guy. If you're looking for a system that is affordable, that won't break the bank, you call Klaus Bunge. So
I got a couple more things about that room.
Okay.
Klaus was able to play for me The Doors, LA Woman, sensational, live concert type stuff. And just a little comparison, he played Low Spark of High Heeled Boys, which we also heard on the big system. Very much closer than I ever would have imagined. The Low Spark of High Heeled Boys was an emotional roller coaster, and it was wonderful in this room.
Well, the Spirit Chaser in this room, the Dead Can Dance, I don't know. I had so much low-level information coming at me, so much base information in layers. I had base information in layers, and I don't normally get that. My jaw was dropped. Terry, then a room.
The Overture room, Peter.
Oh yes, featuring Magico M2s.
With the esoteric electronics.
Yeah, esoteric electronics. That was detailed and fast and musical and believable. That was a really nice room. And I would shout out to Overture Audio and to Magico, supporting the Capitol Audiofest for the first time. They're only right up the road in Delaware. You can purchase equipment in Delaware without sales tax. So if you're looking for a super system and you have and you're a penny pincher, you want to pay that sales tax. You go to Overture.
Delaware's the place.
Delaware's the place.
We played Kate Bush.
Yeah.
And I would describe the sound as very warm and deep.
Yeah, I do
without
too,
sacrificing
yeah.
detail. more dynamic.
Yep,
So
I
it
agree-
had
I
it
agree
all.
with that.
I thought it was a very good system.
I'm used to seeing esoteric DACs and electronics, other things. I had yet to see those beautiful amps.
Yeah.
That CNC curves.
Yeah,
Something.
that was beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Aesthetically beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm going to call out a room that's right around the corner here at the hotel, Backert Labs. Now, this week came into this room. I wanted to help and showcase what High Fidelity Cables has been doing lately. I've been interested in what do they sound like. I've been filming them at shows for the past 3 years. How do they sound? Do the cables really make a difference? Am I hearing something special? So I've been trying to get myself in my ear time on as many rooms that have high fidelity cables. So that's why I went in the room. Wow. Wow. The speakers were, what's the name of that company again from
Rosso?
Italy?
Rosso Fiorentino.
Fiorentino. And they were the small speakers. And we played David Bowie, Lazarus. It was unbelievable. We had layering all over the room. This is a small room in the Hilton here in the tower, and my goodness gracious, it was breathtaking, the amount of detail, spatiality, and the bass coming out of those small speakers. My goodness gracious.
These guys only make preamps, Backer,
Yeah.
and they have a specialized power supply that's only capacitors.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild stuff.
And they make it easy to roll the tube. They have a little thing on top. You unscrew a thumb knob and
Yeah,
pull the plate out.
Yeah.
In and out.
Yeah. They had the power strip from High Fidelity Cables as well. I'm going to seek that out. I want to get that same cable. They weren't the super expensive ones. They were $2,000, I think, at the top. So that I could loom up and not, you don't break the bank. Terry next.
Okay, the ESD crane horn loudspeakers from China,
This is an aggressive new company. Wow.
along with United Home
Yeah,
Audio,
yeah.
Aesthetics Electronics, all wired up with synergistic research. We played an Ed Pong classical piece with violin
Yeah.
and piano, and it was absolutely breathtaking.
It was breathtaking.
That was a goosebump room.
The string tone was gorgeous.
Wasn't it?
Just
It was
beautiful.
spot on.
It
Spot
was
on perfect.
detailed.
Yeah.
Tonality was spot on.
Mhm.
And just brilliant tonality and very detailed. So yes.
Interesting thing. Greg Barone has the United Home Audio Ultima 4 deck in the room.
Mhm.
That is, the top of the food chain in analog reproduction today. Those crane speakers. Let me backtrack. I first heard ESD at Rocky Mountain Audiofest last year. I walked into this room and I see these horns that are the size of bigger than 2 of my bathrooms, and they're must be 8 feet tall. In circumference they must be 6 feet in circumference, made out of carbon fiber. And they came up to me and said, "We're the only only speaker manufacturer in China that's producing high end at this level." And I thought, I want to listen to these. And they were detailed, had good bass, and I thought, man, I'd never heard of you guys before. Where did you come from? And fellow said, well, my son's really into Edgar horns, and he's been a student of Edgar horns for years. And he said he based a design of the horn on the Tritax design that Bruce Edgar had invented. And so that has trickled down into the speaker that's here at the show called the Crane. The Crane. And then the drivers themselves, the compression drivers, he had them on a table, and we have it in a video. You can barely pick them up, they're so heavy. I mean, the big one, I tried to pick it up, I tried to even move it, and it was on a tablecloth, and you could barely even drag the tablecloth, it was so heavy. The speakers themselves, the cranes, and they're that big, and they have a horn that comes out. You'll see it you're seeing it now. You have a shot of it right now. They're 249 kilograms. Now, you have to think about that. How do you move them around? So they have stands that have little wheels in them. So you
That makes
push
sense.
the little wheels.
Like 500 pounds.
So this is a company to watch. Very, very interesting design. They're very serious about good sound, tight dynamics, extremely detailed presentation, but yet in a beautiful, that beautiful horn way where you hear everything, but without that horn cuppiness. Kemper, another row.
I'll go with Mark Sosa from Well Pleased. He had the Vinnie Rossi L2i, the direct heated triode
Yep.
integrated piece. That's really a special piece, really
No kidding.
is. He was using once again, similar to Rocky Mountain, the QLN Prestige 3s in that gorgeous upscale finish that he has. An NUO server, a gigawatt power conditioner, and speakers disappear. The stage starts behind the speakers and then goes 20 feet further back. Just sensational disappearing act. Rich tone, clear, organic, a relaxing room. He just wanted to play music as opposed to playing your special cuts to see how things sound. He just wanted to play some tunes and relax.
Yeah. Well, that was a great room. We spent some time in that room. Do you remember what track we played? Put you on the spot.
I'll tell you what.
Putting me on the spot.
They played a Max Roach drum solo, and it sounded like Max Roach was 10 feet away from you. It was sensationally good.
I'll have to do that again, Terry. Next time.
Thanks, just don't do it on video.
Okay, I'm sorry. Pick a rooms.
Okay, another
I'm gonna be in
great
trouble
room
for that.
is the spatial, Clayton Shore's spatial loudspeakers. He had new loudspeakers called the M3 Sapphires.
Yeah.
Also
yeah.
in the room was the Inuit server, Lampa-Zeta DAC, and linear tube audio. And we played Musica Nuda, and the
Oh,
bass.
yeah.
I think it was one of the best rooms for bass.
I think
it
so,
was so
too.
natural and
So natural.
well integrated with the rest of the sound that it was very moving. I mean, this is a very, relatively speaking, inexpensive system.
Open baffle.
Open baffle.
Great
yeah,
open baffle
yeah.
bass, no box sound.
No, see that's the thing. You don't have that boxy or that fake. Like the bass is
Disappearing
over
act.
here and everything else is somewhere else.
Mhm.
This is perfectly seamless. So, congratulations, guys, on that room.
Yeah, it's nice. It's easy on the eyes too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Kevin, another room.
I will go with Eric Alexander and the Tecton room. He brought the big Moabs in red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
exciting looking. Jeff Hagenstad from Exagal brought a Comet Ion combination. The what he calls it is digital controlled power.
Okay.
Because it's a DAC and an amp, but they can't operate. The DAC can be a DAC, but the Ion is not anything until it's connected to the Comet and becomes essentially like a direct power DAC.
Wow, how about that?
Very intriguing. And they also had Mike McGarry's SA2 80-watt tube amp. So you could change flavors a little bit. I just thought it was startlingly good. Room pressurizing, crushing bass. I heard and saw no less than 5 people because everyone asked, how much are those? Thinking it's 10, 15, 20,
20,000.
When they say 4,500, what? No way.
What? No way.
And it's true, $4,500 for that speaker is, its drawbacks are it's big, and you got to have you can have a veneer, you got a color. Aside from that, it's sensational.
Yeah.
Switching back between the solid state and the tube, I'd give the tube a little bit more dimensionality, but the tube gave up nothing in the bottom end. That McGarry amp is something special out of local from Virginia.
Yeah, we played Kraftwerk's Radioactivity.
yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! I mean, Radioactivity. That's a great track. Kind of the subtle layering in a really warm musical way. It was very compelling. I thought to myself, this is really nice. This is like biting into a nice piece of Belgian chocolate. This is just.
I played the Harry Connick Jr. piece.
Did you? Yeah.
And everyone was floored by the dynamics. Are crazy exciting, huge, no glare, just a really fun room and a up-and-coming speaker designer.
Well, up and coming. Well, he sells direct, and he's established a pretty good model right now, and he's back ordered. So there you go. Okay, let's see. Let me pick a room. I'm going to pick the refined audio room. Reason: we're reviewing a pair of Cube Nenuflars. They've come out with a new 8-inch driver. We have the 10-inch version, and we've heard them at shows, and sometimes they're outstanding at shows, and other times they're just a little off. This was perfect. They had them up against the back wall. And viewers, if you listen to Cubes and you don't have them close to the back wall, it's going to be a different presentation than what I hear.
They have to be close to
They
the
have
wall.
to be close to the back
And
wall.
these are called the mini nenufars.
Mini nenufars.
Right.
And teamed up with Dave Schlegel's EMEA amplifiers and his EMEA. He had a preamp. It was interesting. It was like 4 boxes that no name on it, so you really couldn't tell what it was. My goodness gracious, that sound in that room, it has so phase coherent. I heard, like, in some tracks I heard an awkwardness because the phase was so spot on. I heard information I never heard before.
Buried.
No capacitors. It's a single driver speaker. You'll see in the review forthcoming, and you'll hear it in the video. This was purely magical if you're looking for purity. Terry, another room.
Okay, let's talk about the audio company, guys.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, you're going to bring that in
Yeah.
now.
And
Wow,
the
that's
new,
so early.
Well, the new 452 music block, monoblocks from Kevin Hayes at VAC. Magnificent. This room
Wow.
with the Ultra 11s.
Wow.
It's just
It
never
made a
disappointing.
whole leap forward in terms of resolution, dynamic excitement levels, inner detailing.
Mhm.
It was a complete bump of the system just
Oh
because
yeah,
of the
it was a
452.
very apparent
Yeah.
change.
He was spurred on it by how impressive the integrated sound.
Mhm.
So close to the separates, he had to up the separates level to get them to
Correct.
Correct.
And
Correct.
he'll explain on the video why he did the vertical design. It's
Yeah,
very interesting.
It's very interesting because a vertical design, in my mind, you know, a tube is designed to dissipate standing up, and it's built to, you know, it doesn't need anything on top of it. You know, you don't want to put a piece of wood 1 inch on the top of your tube. You'll see, you know, some people do enclose tubes and boxes, and you have to have them well ventilated. So I took a look at it, and he was explaining it in the video. And as he's explaining it, he said that the tube was actually designed and put in early amplifiers that were horizontal, that were vertical. And so I saw it, I go, I get it, okay? Because the tubes were spaced apart. So it wasn't like right on top of each other, so there was room around the tube for it to ventilate. And then the top of the amplifier, these are vertical amplifiers, they stand that tall, they're that wide, they're striking
Oh, they're
looking.
beautiful.
They're just beautiful looking. And so I thought, okay, the proof is in the listening.
I think really short signal paths are part of this.
Part of the strategy, yeah.
That room is like fashion model. It's unbelievable. Damon and Leif Swanson, Damon von Schweikert and Leif Swanson, do a very detailed explanation of how the Ultra 11s were engineered.
Oh, yeah, that's-
Much more so than in the past.
And then other videos.
We both learned something. We've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
following this room for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, we've been following that speaker since it came on the marketplace,
Yes.
and they put us through in school today. So you're going to get lots of screen time with Damon and Leif. It's wow.
It's an education.
It's yeah.
Leif
yeah.
also told me that instead of working with other speakers bit downward, now everything in the Endeavor line, that's not like the E5 begets the E3. It's the Ultra 11 trickle down, and the
Mhm.
Ultra 9s trickle down into their lower priced products. So the Endeavor SE has the same tweeter as the Ultra 11.
Well, I'll tell you, it
Yeah,
sounded,
yeah,
it sounded
yeah, yeah.
damn good,
Right.
and they weren't
Yeah.
even broken in. We listened to the Endeavors.
Yeah, we listened to the Endeavors.
Special edition.
Yeah.
Endeavor SEs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and we're going to do a little add-on clip on the tail end of their video. It's going to be a bonus clip. So when you're watching the big video, at the very end, we're going to have a little listening session with Roger Waters, and you're going to hear the dog bark, and then you're going to hear the story of the battleground and the soldier that had to leave his friend behind on the battleground.
Mhm.
It's wow.
What color were those?
They were a striking red. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also had the beautiful critical mass racks.
Racks in that
stands.
system. Mhm.
And Joe does explain his technology, his philosophy and technology.
Mhm.
The Kronos Pro was in the room, that
Yes.
turntable,
Mhm.
and master built cables.
Mhm. And don't
And,
forget.
esoteric.
And don't forget the esoteric digital.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And there's some new information, a new build on the transport.
Yeah, there's a new transport
So
build.
Scott's going to explain it and show it to you.
Yeah, you're gonna get show
You're
and
going
tell.
to see the insides
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's really good video.
Well, let's get to the, what did it sound like?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know, it's-
4-hour listening session last night. Greg Weaver, who's the best disc jockey in high-end audio and
Clearly.
demonstrator, clearly the best. He knows his pressings. He knows what sounds good. He brings hand-picked records when he does that DJ thing here at the Capitol Audiofest. And I was sitting there last night just mesmerized. My head was down like this in the audiophile praying position. And you do that because there's someone sitting in front of you, and if you go down and pray and you put yourself a little forward, it really opens up what you can hear laterally. So we were all doing it. I mean, it was just, we were at church. And song after track after song after track, one was bigger and better than the other. And today we did the grand finale. We played Michel Jones, we played the live, and it was, I swear, maybe last night helped the system warm up a little bit. It took my breath away. I was actually, I don't know, I was getting a little, just a mini panic attack doing the filming today because it was just, oh my goodness, it was just superb.
Le temps passé n'est pas passé, inaperçu.
Well, last night, I don't think anything approaches the scale and dynamics of that system.
Yeah.
The pressings from Mo-Fi, the Communique, and the original Sultans of Swing, the impact was very much like a live concert. It was really concussive.
That's what it does.
Yeah,
It
that's-
does
yeah,
give you
yeah,
that
yeah,
live
yeah,
concert
yeah,
sound.
Greg was talking about how the drums weren't a big force in Dire Straits, but all of a sudden on this one, the drums kind of came to the forefront
Yes,
a little
yes.
bit. Very, very moving, very propulsive.
Well, let me throw one out. MC Audio Tech. Mark Conti, he's been in the business for 15, 20 years, and he teams up with, and has teamed up with Paul Paddock in the past. Paul Paddock was a designer of the Lineum tweeter, and he brought that to market in the 1990s. And he got interest from Tandy Corporation to license the technology. And so if maybe many viewers bought some of these little speakers from Radio Shack for $99 for two with Lineum tweeters on top,
Yep.
where like the whole, for $99 you're going to fill your room. I still have a pair of them in the surround position in the lower listening room. And so they teamed up and they have this beautiful array. They have a multi-cell array behind a cloth, and then it sits atop the woofers, and the woofers are two
18s.
They're 18s, excuse me, two 18s firing this way, but yet they don't have the ability for the sound to escape. They force it to go front and back. A very interesting design. End result, it's a speaker of one cloth, and it's a speaker for
Very
music,
coherent.
and very coherent, and it's a speaker for music lovers. If you're seeking super detail, and you're looking to spot that image and that image and that image, you may want to go out somewhere else. If you're looking to come into a chamber, go to a chamber concert and just sit there and close your eyes and let the music wash over you,
That's what they do.
that's what they do, and they're spectacular to
And
look at.
Mark explains the speaker in
Yep,
detail
yep,
in
yep,
the video.
and very much so.
I found it very transparent,
Mhm.
very full range,
Yeah, yeah.
easy to drive.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kemper, another speaker.
Well, we all know
Or
Dale
another room.
Sanders from Martin Logan,
Mm-hmm.
from
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he now has formed Icon, and I think it's the direction that the industry is headed a little bit.
Mhm.
It's for the person that's tired of finding the right wire, matching the right amp to the right speaker, all the chasing your tail stuff that you do. If you just want to be done with it, he has it done.
Mhm.
It's small, it's petite, dare I even say sexy.
Huh.
It's no passive crossovers, all active crossovers. There's an amp for every driver. There's DSP. There's room correction built in. There's a DAC. You need a source, and that's it. All the cables are supplied. Everything is supplied, and it's a petite little thing that roars like a lion. We played Lord's Royals, and the pressurizing of the bass was insane. It had to be 20 hertz. It was just wonderful.
This is a family speaker.
Yeah, this is a speaker for a family, and this is a speaker
a
that
music-loving
yeah,
family.
and people are going to discover the speaker who are not into two-channel high-performance audio. They're going to find the speaker through YouTube or social media, and they're going to be higher net worth people or younger successful people, and they're going to find this.
It's a set it and forget it.
It's set it and forget it. and-
Because it's not a tweaker's
No,
speaker.
no,
It's
no.
not
You don't. There's no wires to trip over. You don't have power amps over there or monoblocks over there. It's just right there, and they're
Yeah,
beautiful to
so it's
behold,
very,
and they
very
sound
nice.
fantastic.
And they fit in urban environments.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
the-
right,
The
right.
condos and the apartments,
That's
Right.
the
right.
smaller,
It's a very good
That's right,
idea, and
yep.
it really produced a nice
They don't
product.
dominate anything, they kind of disappear.
Mhm.
Yet
Exactly.
when something big is called for, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
They impress.
Wow. Okay, Terry, another room.
Okay, last but not least,
Oh.
and you're going to have to help me with this because I didn't listen, but you went crazy. Black Ice by Jolita's new headphone amp.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And this is a little special.
So
shout out.
we filmed Black Ice audio for the past 2 years. They're teamed up with Jim Fosgate. Jim Fosgate took a liking to Jared Dunkerson. Jared Dunkerson was teamed up with Mike Matthews from Jolita,
Mike
and
Allen.
Mike Allen from Jolita, and it's so the relationship is just amazing because Fosgate, he's famous. I mean, he's the real deal. All the car stereos. I mean, he's on. How many patents does the man have? But he sold his company for yes, yeah, and he's still passionate, and he works with Jared, and they came up with a headphone amplifier that incorporates all their spatial technology, soundstage expander, high frequency cutoff roll off. You can control the bass. You can control everything. You can, in other words, you can create your own soundstage. Now that's what he does in the preamp, but they put that. They have a preamp that does that, but they put that into a headphone amplifier. Okay, viewers, do I have a treat for you? We just finished filming the system here in the Black Ice room, and Jared had told me about the headphone amplifier. It's a brand new product, another product from the genius mind of Jim Fosgate, and he said, you got to listen to this. So just 2 minutes, 3 minutes ago, set it up, plugged it into the system, put on Kraftwerk, and you're at the concert. You can control everything. I have that bass turned up so it's like, it's my whole body almost vibrates. Like this is like, I know you can't hear it, but my God, I can adjust everything. I can adjust the surround sound, I can adjust the right high EQ, I can adjust the bass, the sub bass, volume, balance. It is unbelievable. And they received it 2 weeks ago as a prototype. And as soon as Jared put it on, he turned it on and he goes, oh, look at this, I can control the bass. And he put the bass up, I don't know how many dB, there's plenty. And he said, my whole body started shaking. And he goes, I couldn't believe it. Peter, you gotta hear it, you gotta hear it, you gotta hear it. I sat down, I listened, I could not believe it. We played, he knows I like Kraftwerk, so we played a Kraftwerk track. And it did not sound like a headphone. This was the first, I thought, wow. And then he said, go start playing with it. I was so amazed, I thought, I gotta shoot a video of this. So you will see a video of me sitting there with my goofy look on my face as I go, what? And I'm turning the knobs. You gotta listen to this. And it's gonna come in at how much? It's like,
I don't remember.
I don't remember the
It's
price.
never expensive.
It's never expensive because it was a prototype. So pricing is probably
I
going to be
forget what he said.
2,000 or 2,500 or 1,500 in that range.
Affordable.
Affordable. It's not 20,000, and it's not 300. But it was wow.
But the gist was that the sound that's normally centered in the middle of your head
Centered in the middle of your head.
explodes out and you can move it away from your head.
Right, because I'm not a fan of cans. I use them when I edit video. I sit in the editing suite. I got to put them on, or I got to put buds in, or I'm at a video, or I'm shooting video at a show. I got to stick buds in and stick them into the camera to see what's the best spot to put the microphones. This, my goodness gracious, this is like, reminds me of the AKG 1000s, where the headphone had, the speakers were mounted to a plate, and the plate was out like this, so it was open baffle back to you, so you really felt like you were listening to loudspeakers, not headphones. And this did this to regular headphones. These were Headphone Man headphones, closed in, solid back headphones. It removed I don't know what else to say. You gotta.
It's a new game in headphone amps.
It's a new game in headphone amps. Okay, let's see. I got a room I overlooked to throw out. Kef Muon. Ooh.
Wow.
Talk about sexy. Silver, shapy, beautiful looking, teamed up with a new...
It's like the Mae West of audio.
That's well put.
Real curvy, big.
Real
silver.
curvy, big and beautiful. Krell amplifier, Krell preamplifier. VPI phonostage, VPI motor controller. But all done in this beautiful finish. Sitting below in his custom-made stand, the Vanquish system. This is VPI's attack on the state of the art. It's going to be priced a little over $100,000.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just stunning to behold. But outside of the look of it, we played the Spirit Chaser, and I thought, wow, this is really good. I thought it was going to be, a little. The room, they had them in the angle set up in the room, you've seen that, the cat quarter setup. So I thought, well, why did they do that? There's a reason why. It's because they're having a problem setting it up in the standard setup.
Yeah.
And so but as soon as the needle dropped, I went, whoa, this is very good.
Yeah.
I've never heard Kef sound this good.
It was sensational.
It was sensational. Big and blossoming, detailed, musically realistic. That was a great room.
A beautiful room. And the VPI Vanquish system allows them to do things like they take the tone arm cables and are not terminated. They're terminated into the phono preamp. So there's
Inside,
no connection.
No connection. I understand.
And the front of the phono stage and the motor controller are curved to match the curves of the turntable platter. Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it is gorgeous. Well, another room there?
I'll go with GT Audio Works and Sound Insight that had Pass Labs and a bassist turntable with Greg Takesh's GT Audio Works planar magnetics. No crossover on the mid-range panel at all, full-range panel. And I think they've reached the top rung. I really do. It sounds open, no box at all.
I agree with you.
The bass was perfectly integrated this time. They only had 4 12s per side, so it wasn't oppressive and it wasn't overwhelming. And they had, instead of being, hey, I can do bass, they had the bass perfectly integrated. Not too much, not showy, just exactly the right amount.
I agree.
Past Labs supplied the electronics.
Yeah.
There was, they called it the turntable was a bassist A.J. Conti.
Okay, and
Turntable.
memory,
In memory of A.J.
That's
Conti.
right.
Yeah.
And they had XS 150s, gigantic pass
amplifiers. Yeah, they stack on top of each other.
Yeah.
But the sound stage started 4 feet behind the speakers and then went 20 feet back. And
Yeah.
speakers,
Yeah.
you could see the speakers, but nothing came out of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was live event dynamics. I was
Yeah.
drawn in emotionally. For instance, they played Ricky Lee Jones singing Danny's All-Star Joint, and I was just drawn right into it, singing about kissing the boys behind the magazine. It was just, it just emotionally drew me right into it. So it was, I think they've really got a final product. It's in ink, and they know how to do it now. I thought it was stunning. One of the very top echelons.
And
Well,
speaking of G&T,
I was just going to go GTT. It was
Carmel twos.
It was thrilling to be here for the launch of the Humboldt integrated amplifier. We've been watching the AudioNet product launch for this. This was the international launch of the Humboldt. Humboldt's going to retail around $45,000, and it is giving you the sound of the Heisenberg and the Stern, which are some of the world's best amplifiers, in an integrated package, and it's beautiful to behold. It's about that tall, it's about that wide, and it was mated with the YG Carmel 2s, and with Kronos Sparta turntable, the new outboard power supply for the Sparta, the Mola Mola Tambaki DAC, This room.
Kabbalah Sazda.
Yeah, Kabbalah sauce. This
Okay.
room, it disappeared. This room melted. This was a
Lots
room.
of dynamics.
Amazing dynamics. The Carmel 2s, they don't give you 20 hertz bass. They can't do that. But boy, they give you everything.
They were right sized.
They were
for the
right
room.
sized for the room. And I think that's what we go after in this video. We want to show you guys that it's these big speakers that people stuff in small rooms, that sometimes doesn't work all that well.
Rarely.
Rarely. You really got to right size a speaker for the room. Look at the speakers in this room. These speakers, they can go into a nice sized living room, but people are putting speakers that are twice as tall as these speakers in rooms that are
Half the size.
half the size of it.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So this room proved you right size your speaker for the room, and the room disappears. I closed my eyes when we were playing the track this morning, and I just was I don't know, the goosebumps are coming up and down my arm. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to behold. So a big
Yeah,
big
Surprisingly deep bass, yet really
yes.
taut and quick.
Yes.
Disappeared completely.
Yes.
So much resolution. The
Yeah.
top end was extremely
Yeah,
extended.
yeah.
I heard little inner detail things that get lost. Like a piano line that's being played, and when the orchestra plays, it kind of gets lost. I could hear the piano line all the way through it. It was a beautiful system.
And before we wrap, guys, I want to also mention, because we're here in the Odyssey room, one of the best rooms at the show, but what contributed to this great sound was Magnum cables, and we hadn't mentioned that before, and that's very important to know. Cabling is important.
Cabling is important. I'm curious about the high fidelity cables, and I'm now curious about the magnet cables.
Yep.
He's got a new technology where instead of having stiff tubes, he has like little like the way straws bend. So you can put the dielectric is movable. So it's a very interesting new technology there.
Excellent. Make it easy to attach to an amplifier. and speaker.
Correct. Because you know how hard it is. Some of these speaker cables, you go to put them to your amplifier, and your amplifier moves.
I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Your amplifier goes up in the air.
It's not a pretty sight.
It does your amplifier does a wheelie.
Okay.
Okay. So anything that we've overlooked on yours?
Yes.
Oh.
Cora loudspeakers.
Well,
You talk about beautiful. Here's a speaker box. I should hate to call it that. Enclosure, CNC'd out of solid granite.
Yeah.
Absolutely no box sound to these speakers at all. They sound extremely refined. They're extremely dynamic, exciting, clear, pure. No, there's no blur. The bass is tight, taut. They're just absolutely wonderful. In fact, I heard the small little stand mounts this afternoon.
Oh, how do they sound?
Sensational. They give up 4, 5, 6 hertz to the floor standers. Image like crazy. Stuff was 4 feet outside the speakers and 4 feet above them. He's really got something going there with that product.
He really does, and he launched at Rocky Mountain Audiofest. We filmed them, just a little under 2 months ago, and here we are again. I thought this was a little bit better presentation because it was right size for the room.
Yeah.
Because he was in a big ballroom before. We played the Bruce Springsteen Western Stars, and that's a beautiful track. It's got the slide guitar in it, and Bruce's voice is spot on. And I swear, the sound stage was 5 to 10 feet behind the speakers. The side walls melted down.
Like crazy.
Yeah, it images like crazy. There's the big audio reference, Ref 710s, is it? I think it's a 710. The big ones with the tubes coming out of the top, flanking the speakers, and the speakers are sublime looking. They're only about that wide, not front panel. But from side view. So you're looking at them and you go, oh, they must have a whole lot of box behind them.
Yeah.
This must be really deep. And no. And so they're about that wide. And so you can place them anywhere.
I looked around behind to see the 10-inch sub.
Yeah, right. Where is it? There's nothing behind them.
It's just those two. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
all. And
Yeah.
Without any resonances, you get it was a lot different.
Yeah, it was a lot different.
Just
So
stunningly beautiful.
yeah, stunning. Yeah, super room. Just a super room. So
I think it's that time,
I
guys.
think it's
Have we
that
reached that
time.
time?
Yeah, I think we've reached that time. I'm going to go ladies first.
No pressure.
No
No
pressure.
pressure.
What are we going to take home? What would we take home?
I know I say this all the time, but these shows, the equipment gets better and better, so it's hard to
Yeah.
decide. So
Yeah.
here it goes. I'm taking home the entire Roby Up room.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I'm going to sit and listen to Horowitz on the piano.
Oh.
In many ways, that room shows us how little we've progressed as far as speaker manufacture
Yeah,
goes. 'Cause
well,
those
isn't
speakers
that
are
saying-
sensational.
Yeah, but I got to remember that they
They're
do their
being
rebuild.
rebuilt.
They've
Oh,
been
yeah.
rebuilt with new technology,
They are
new parts.
they're all about just listening to music and lullaby sounds.
Yeah.
It's just something very peaceful about it.
Yeah,
And everything worked in that room together beautifully. The Brooklyn Rats. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah,
another beautiful
yeah,
piece.
yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, that we were talking in the beginning of the video about that was the first time I really actually teared up. I can see why you took the room home.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Kemper.
I'm going to take that GT Audio Works Sound Insight subwoofer system home.
Really?
Absolutely, it knocked me out. The dynamics were exciting. It was a perfect room for me. And when you wanted the bombastic stuff, there it was.
Mm-hmm.
And when you wanted the solo cello with the little chimes and stuff, it was beautiful. So I would instantly take the big. I find a place for the big passes somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, hands down for me, I had a religious experience yesterday in this very room. I never heard Song of the Stars like I did yesterday. And it's the magic of Klaus knows how to design equipment, to create a sound stage first, and then everything else falls into place. This room had more magic than almost any other room I've been in my 35-year listening career. I was bowled over by it. I didn't know what to say when I started the camera. I sat right back where the camera's sitting right now, and the needle dropped, and I heard the bass growl, and I heard information, low-level information, low-frequency information, actually soundstage. I mean, I could not believe it. I mean,
Layered bass.
Layered bass. And then the shakers on the left and the right.
Right.
Everything was all layered here, layered there, layered there. Oh my goodness. Big shout out to Klaus. You have hit a huge home run here at Capitol Audiofest 2019. I've never heard anything like it.
He's a master.
He's a master at this. So
That's it, guys.
that's a wrap
That's
for
a wrap.
Reviewer's View for the Capitol Audiofest 2019. This was a great show this year.
Great show.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful show. Many, many more attendees than last year. Many, many more exhibits than last year. This is definitely this is a destination audio show.
I heard people came in from a lot of different areas to come to the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did. I was sitting in a listening session last night. There was a couple from South Carolina.
There you go.
They flew up. It was their first audio show.
Excellent.
So there you go. Well, anyway,
82 rooms.
yeah, 82 rooms. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Peter Berlinger for AV Showrooms.
Kemper Holt for AV Showrooms.
And Terry Arinci from AV Showrooms.
We'll see you at the next show.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.